All right, good morning, everybody. My name's Stacy Mortensen. I have the pleasure of serving as the executive director for both the San Joaquin Rail Commission, who's hosting you today, and the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority that will be running this lovely fleet and is running one of these trains already out on the San Joaquin route in the Valley and into the Bay Area. I want to welcome you to this Stockton Rail Maintenance Facility, which is a mouthful, and so we lovingly call it RMF. So if you hear people talking about that later, that is this that you see out here. The facility, we opened it in 2014, and it is spectacular. You can't see it all from here. Hopefully some of you can take a little peek or a tour inside later. It is really a landmark facility in Stockton and a gem, and we're excited to share the launch with you as well as the facility itself. You'll hear a lot more about this partnership effort in a little bit from my colleagues and other officials. So a little housekeeping. Safety for us is number one. And so you are in an active rail facility with things going on. You probably saw construction as you came in the gate. So if you would, please don't wander too far away from this program area. You'll have ample opportunity later to take a tour, and we're excited about that. There aren't any drills planned for today, so if you hear an alarm, first, don't panic. Our team will escort you just down the way to the mailboxes. We call it our muster point, and I love to say that, and I'm not sure exactly what it means, but it's our muster point just down the way by the mailboxes, so that's where we'll go. Restrooms, if you need them, inside the building through the lobby doors. You'll see signs that direct you down there. It's just a stitch down the hallway. Some special recognitions before the program gets started. This is always hard, you know, to capture everybody that has come. But from the Stockton City Council, sitting in the front row, we have Dan Wright, Michael Blauer, San Joaquin County Board Member Paul Canepa. And I'm very excited because we have Capital Corridor partners that have come today. So from the Capital Corridor Board, we have Chair Robert Rayburn, Vice Chair Bruce Houdeselt, which I always struggle with, and Suisun City Mayor Alma Hernandez. I think Adam Cheshire, there we go, from Congressman Josh Harder's office. And then just a special shout out to my colleague who I work with almost every day, Rob Padgett, who is Capital Corridor Managing Director. Oh yeah, there's my recent boss, Leo Zuber, who is Mayor of Ripon and our immediate past chair. Yeah, the wind blew my paper, so here we'll do something like this. You're going to hear more about how it takes a village to raise a new rail industry and employment hub right where you are today. Years ago, this was a planing mill. Lumber company owned it. A lot of planing activities occurred here. It provided really good jobs for families back then. You could sustain a family on those jobs. 10 years ago, we transformed it into a new place where we sustain the ACE trains and we sustain new families. Today, you're helping us kick off the next transformation and the next and the next. Great opportunities are planted here, and you're going to hear some really good visions. California State Transportation Agency and Caltrans, they've been key to what you're going to hear about today. They're establishing a new vision for passenger rail, not just here, but statewide. New trains, better connections, and service to new communities who maybe haven't had it in the past. But before I spill too many of the beans, I'll hand it off to Grace Magseo, the acting district director for Caltrans District 10, right up the road and a good partner to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. All right. Well, welcome everyone and good morning. And thanks again for joining us on this very special occasion. I am Grace McSaya, the acting Caltrans District 10 Director, and I'm very pleased to be here today to introduce our distinguished guest this morning. So without further ado, let's go get started. It is my privilege to introduce our first speaker, Caltrans Director Tony Tavares. As the 34th person to take this position, Tony has served Caltrans as its director since June of 2022. He is responsible for 22,000 employees, a $20 billion annual budget, 50,000 lane miles of highway, 20,000 bridges, and the reason we are here today, 3 of Amtrak's busiest intercity passenger rail lines, including the San Joaquin's line and these beautiful new venture passenger rail cars. Please give a warm welcome to my boss, Director Tony Tavares.
Well, thank you, Grace. Good morning, everyone. Today we are extremely excited to be celebrating these new venture rail cars. But first, I do want to thank all of you for joining us here today. We've got a large group of people here. It's exciting to see all of you here in the All-American city of Stockton, the heart of Caltrans District 10, and one of California's most dynamic communities here in the Central Valley. So excited to be with all of you. Also like to take a moment to just thank all of the leaders here who are with us from the cities of Stockton, Tracy, from our San Joaquin, Amtrak Rail, our Capital Corridor Rails. Thank you all for being here and supporting these venture cars. Caltrans is extremely proud to be working with you in creating the next generation of a multimodal transportation network that all Californians need and they deserve. The most assuredly includes all of our partners, once again, at the San Joaquin Regional Rail Commission, the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority, and the Amtrak San Joaquin's line. And it includes the hard-working women and men of Caltrans, all 22,000 of them. This includes our Caltrans District 10 Interim Director, Grace McSaya, Deputy Director for Rail and Multimodal Transportation at Caltrans, Kyle Gradinger, and our entire Caltrans team who is here today. Thank you. Thank you for helping us mark this celebration. And yes, we are celebrating the deployment of the first of 7 brand new Caltrans-owned venture passenger rail cars. They were built right here in Northern California, just up the rail in Sacramento, and here at the ACE Maintenance Yard in Stockton by Siemens AG, and many of Northern California's most talented workers. We want to thank our global partners, Siemens, headquartered in Germany, as well as Sumitomo Corporation, headquartered in Japan, for their partnership in delivering these rail cars. We're delighted to have and forged a robust global business partnership together, one that benefits citizens all over the world. Truly, these venture rail cars represent success on a local, a state, a national, and international level. The state-of-the-art train set you see behind me is the first new passenger addition to join the Amtrak San Joaquin's line in decades. In total, Caltrans and the San Joaquin Regional Rail Commission will oversee the ultimate build of 49 coach and cab ride cars, representing close to $140 million investment in the future of passenger rail in California. And in about 2 weeks, the second set of venture cars will launch from this site. By the end of 2025, all 7 sets will be completed and traveling the tracks between Stockton and the Bay Area, Bakersfield and Oakland, and Sacramento and Bakersfield. Each set will seat up to 430 riders. 7 total daily round trips every day. 5 round trips between Oakland and here, and 2 daily round trips between Sacramento and Bakersfield. The Amtrak San Joaquins will allow for more than 6,000 passengers to travel the various economic centers in the Central Valley, the state capital, and the Bay Area every single day. This is so important because post-pandemic, Caltrans and the California State Transportation Agency have been working diligently to provide more transportation choices and options to the people of California so that they can get out of their single occupant vehicles and travel on a cleaner, safer, more comfortable ride than driving alone. These trains will allow that. The aisles are 30 inches wide throughout the train. The 7 car sets are semi-permanently coupled together with wide, subtle gangways between the cars that provide smooth, ADA acceptable passage from one end of the train to the next. That is a new development in California-based passenger trains. We also are constructing special platforms that will allow many passengers with disabilities to board independently or with limited crew assistance. This improvement will also provide easier boarding for passengers with heavy baggage or those who want to bring their bikes along. In addition to the special mini high platforms, 2 wheelchair lifts on every 7-car train set will provide reliability and redundancy. Caltrans is extremely proud of the fact that these venture cars provide travelers with a safer ride, a more comfortable ride, especially in terms of equity and accessibility. California has the largest state-supported intercity passenger rail network in the country, and these new venture train sets couldn't come at a better time. Since the 1990s, when the state made significant investments in the Capitol Corridor and the Pacific Surfliner lines, Caltrans's rail fleets have been reliably serving our state travelers. Now is the time to systematically overhaul our fleet for the 21st century and continue the record achievement that we have succeeded at. This celebration is another excellent opportunity for us to showcase how we are advancing our core 4 foundational principles of safety, of equity, climate action, and economic prosperity in everything that we do. I've already mentioned the equity and accessibility and the economic impact to Stockton and Sacramento and the entire Central Valley. These rail cars and new zero-emission engines will lower planet warming pollution, improve air quality in our marginalized communities, and reduce the amount of time people have to spend behind the wheel. We're providing, again, safer, more comfortable, and reliable transportation as opposed to having to drive your own car by yourself. In addition, in just 3 weeks ago, we signed a contract to build more hydrogen-powered, zero-emission locomotives to join our fleet. In fact, we will be purchasing at least 10 train sets to start with, and these will be the first hydrogen-powered locomotives in the entire United States coming to California. All these actions will shrink our collective carbon footprint and further reduce our contribution to greenhouse gas emissions. This is the beginning of our renewed effort to continually improve passenger rail service throughout our state, the beginning of a truly integrated transportation system in California that provides transportation options and choices to all Californians. Today is the beginning of the future for transportation, and I am grateful to be celebrating this milestone with all of you this morning. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us. This is truly a monumental day for rail in California. And at this point, it is my great honor to introduce a gentleman who is not only the Secretary of the California State Transportation Agency, but he is a state and national leader when it comes to equity, when it comes to climate action, and when it comes to safety. Will you please join me in welcoming Secretary Tokes Omashakin.
A very good morning. Wow. It is a little bit too cold and chilly to get a slightly lukewarm response. A very good morning. Good morning. There we go. There we go. Is everybody awake? Good morning. It's good to see all of your faces this morning. It's a little chilly, but it's an exciting day. It's a momentous day for transportation in California. What we're here to launch, these new TrainSense, these venture passenger rail cars, are going to be a game changer for mobility in this state. So get ready. You guys are getting us started down that road. Before I get to my remarks, there are, of course, several people to thank for a day like today, a momentous day like today. And I want to start off with where things just ended, with our director, Tony Tavares, who has jumped right in on issues related to mobility and the Core 4 that he just mentioned, and that's where my remarks are going to be focused this morning. He's jumped right in and continued to push these issues around mobility, especially clean mobility, continue to push it further and further ahead. So thank you to Tony. Also thank you to Grace Mixayo, as she's serving in this new role. Tony, hopefully she's doing a good job for you in the acting position as the District 10 Director. Congratulations, Grace, on the appointment, on the acting appointment, but also for your leadership in the region. And also want to recognize and thank Cal Gradinger. I don't see Cal. Where's Cal? Somewhere in the, Cal standing in back. Cal also with Caltrans for all the work that he does on rail and mass transit for the state of California. And all the rest of the Caltrans team here in District 10, if you don't mind waving, rest of D10. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing in District 10. And also to our local partners who are on the ground to help make this happen. Stacy is actually my first time meeting Stacy Mortensen. Stacy all the way in the back. I think I've been, thank you, Stacy. I've been on several Zooms with her in the past, but thank you for all the work that the JPA and the Rail Commission, that all of you do. To our private partners, I got a chance to, late last year, I think sometime in the summer, I got a chance to tour Siemens. These guys at Siemens, their leadership is here. Siemens in Sacramento. I did not know how large Siemens was and how many people they employ, how vast the operations are there. It is an impressive facility. So many kudos to Siemens and all the work that they've been doing to get us going on rail in the state. You will hear more from them later. And also Sumitomo. Sumitomo, as you've heard, the Japanese-based company just met Timothy. Tim, their leadership that's here, you'll hear from him. Really appreciate all of their work as well. And to our state legislature and governor, I can't tell you how important it is to have funding support and leadership beyond we the practitioners, we the technocrats who are doing the work. But to get elected officials to be able to support things like this is also critically important. So very thankful for the state legislature and governor, as usual, for their support on things like rail, mass transit, and mobility as well. And I'll be remiss if I didn't mention our CalSTA leadership, who's also here with me. Tammy McGowan is our Deputy Secretary for Communications. Tammy, thanks for being here. And Chad Edison is our Chief Deputy Secretary for Rail and Mass Transit. He's always behind the scenes pushing issues on transit. Thank both of them as well for being here. So look, this project, getting it to a day like today, the success of it belongs to all of you. It belongs to all of you standing here this morning. The benefits are gonna be yielded by the people of the state. That's why we do this work. That's why we're at this every single day, to better serve the people of the state. And we have tried over the last several years to become more and more people focused in all of our work in transportation for California. And the way to get there, as the director mentioned, the way to get to that more people focused transportation system is by focusing on the core four. I'll tell you real quick how this effort hits that core four, our biggest four priorities for transportation in the state. Number one, safety. You may not think about it often, but the more that we get people out of that dependence on having to always use a car, that they can get into these passenger rail cars, it's going to decrease conflict points. It's going to decrease crashes potentially on our roadway. This is a safer way to travel. Not that vehicles are in any way bad for us, but this sometimes can be a safer way to be able to get about our community. So, safety, number one on that core four list. Number two, climate action. The fact that we know fewer emissions. This is a cleaner way for people to be able to get about our cities, our communities, and our state. So climate action benefits from this. Economic prosperity. We know, as was mentioned already, the job creation that happens when we build these train cars, when we have to maintain and operate it in a facility like this. That's job creation. As we also do a better job of running these, nodes develop along our communities, nodes where businesses will come and operate because these trains are going through there, where people will be stopping. So the benefits of this economically are very significant. And finally, on that list of core four is equity. What this means for equity, the affordability of being able to use these trains versus having to buy gas. We're also investing more, as everybody knows, we're investing more and more. We're the national leader in ZEFs. So that's going to be a cleaner way to travel, but also this will be another one of those, obviously one of those options, and a more affordable way to travel as well in our state. So the core four, this absolutely impacts and benefits our state and gets us to be more and more people focused for mobility in the state. I will close with a quote from a gentleman named Elijah Cummings. Some of you may know who Elijah Cummings is. He recently, congressman who recently passed away. But I love this quote. It's a good reminder for why we do what we do, all of us. And the quote says, "Our decisions about transportation determine much more than where roads or bridges or tunnels or rail lines will be built. They determine the connections and barriers that people will encounter in their daily lives, and thus how hard or easy it will be for people to get where they need and where they want to go." That's what this work is ultimately about, to help people get towards their upward mobility in life and in society, and do it in a clean, safe, equitable, efficient way. So to all of you, our local elected officials who are here, thank you for supporting this effort, pushing it through the Rail Commission, through the JPA, and being in partnership with us at the state of California. We're excited to partner with all of you and our private partners as well to get to this momentous day. I look forward to hopping in the rail. I've actually been in this when I was at Siemens, but I look forward to getting in them again and actually seeing these trains in operation throughout the San Joaquin Valley. Again, a very good morning, and thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Omishakin and Director Tavares. Always inspiring to hear words that really fuel our excitement for the future of California. Our next speaker is the chairman of the San Joaquin Joint Powers of Authority. That's a mouthful, so I'm going to call it, SJJPA. Supervisor Hume is a is a member of the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors. In addition to representing a district with more than 650 square miles of territory, Supervisor Hume also leads the SJJPA, which is the managing agency of the Amtrak San Joaquin's line that transports nearly 1 million riders per year throughout the heart of California. Please welcome Supervisor Hume.
Thank you. Good morning, and it is a mouthful and it's difficult to spell, so if you need any help, it's right there on the train behind me. I'd like to start by recognizing someone who didn't get introduced earlier. Joining us, the CEO from the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District, Dr. Alberto Ayala. And I introduce him not only because obviously the air we breathe is important, but also because on a day like today, I'm envious of his haircut. I don't know what's going on up here, but I'm sure it's not what I planned when I left the house this morning. Welcome, everyone, to the wonderful ACE RMF, or the Rail Maintenance Facility, as was mentioned earlier. I am pleased to be here to officially introduce the launch of the state-of-the-art Siemens Venture Cars into revenue service, and I hope that you will all stick around and maybe take a tour of the facility when this is over, and definitely get on the train set here. It still has that new train smell, so that's a good thing. I'd like to start by thanking Secretary Omashakin and Director Tavares for joining us today. We at the SJJPA look forward to continuing our work together in advancing California's transportation goals, and particularly those 4 areas as they were outlined. I'd also like to thank Grace, Caltrans District D10 Director, as well as Michael and the Siemens team, and Tim and the Sumamoto team, our private sector partners, as we heard, are critically important in order to be performing globally, manufacturing locally, and putting into service regionally. And so thank you very much. We are pleased to be joined by other representatives that I'll get to. And so I would like to introduce a couple of folks. But before I do that, I just want to say to the staff and the workers at Siemens who put in the hours in designing and building these train sets, thank you for your hard work. And to the community stakeholders in attendance, you are central to our mission of providing transportation services to all our communities. And now I'd like to invite up a couple of folks from our federal representatives' offices. And so starting first from Congressman Josh Harder's office, the district director, Adam Cheshire.
Thank you, Chair Hume. It is really my pleasure and my honor to be here today. I spoke with Congressman Harder this morning. He sends his regrets for not being able to be here in person. He's back in D.C. voting on infrastructure projects that will hopefully bring even more support for transportation here to the Central Valley. And we've heard a lot from folks today about the benefits that a project like this brings, but something I want to really highlight, and I have the pleasure of highlighting today, is how it strengthens the connections between all of the amazing communities of the Central Valley that are represented here today. And you couldn't have cued that.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah, cue that train. And so I just want to highlight that with this project, we are really solving so many different problems and bringing folks together at the same time. And it is really an honor to be here. So on behalf of Congressman Harder and the U.S. House of Representatives, it is my pleasure and my honor to recognize JPA and Caltrans for this achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Now I would like to invite up representing Congressman John Duarte's office, Gavin Klein. Where'd you go, Gavin? Here he is.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's truly an honor to be here today to celebrate the launch of the new Venture cars. Congressman Duarte and I had the opportunity to tour this facility last year and talk and discuss these projects and the benefits that they bring for the community and to meet the needs of the community. Accessibility is so important, and these give us that opportunity. So on behalf of Congressman John Duarte and the United States Congress, we want to congratulate you, and we wish you the best success with this project. Congratulations.
Here together. All right, that concludes the housekeeping portion of my comments, so now we'll move on to the real meat of the issue. Today, we are marking an exciting occasion. As some of you may be aware, in fact, it was mentioned earlier, today is the 50th anniversary of the launch of the San Joaquin service. We are honoring our roots while also marking our commitment to the future with the launch of these new Venture train sets. It is difficult to imagine that this time, almost exactly 4 years ago, we were unsure of how our service would be impacted by the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Like everything else globally, we faced immense challenges, but we have proven our resiliency. Along with our partners at Caltrans, we pushed forward our plans, knowing that the safe, convenient, efficient transport was crucial to all Californians. Today demonstrates the importance and commitment and our ability to follow through and deliver more attractive, modernized transportation options for Californians. With these new cars, we will be able to restore a round trip to Sacramento this year, and they will be instrumental to help deliver the increased service that will come with the build-out of the Valley Rail program in the coming years. Behind me, you can see these new train sets. They have great amenities, safety, and technological features, and are more accessible to differently abled individuals. Our goal was to create a rider experience that is not only safe and efficient, but also makes the journey as enjoyable as the destination. And so you hop on the train, you maybe bang out a couple emails and do your work, read a book, or if you're like me, just look out the window and watch the scenery go by and let your mind wander. So as you take a chance to step aboard today and enjoy that new train smell, I encourage you to have a seat and imagine you are traveling through our beautiful state from point A to point B and all places beyond, and you will see exactly what I mean. So thank you again for celebrating with us today, and now I'd like to take a special moment to introduce somebody who's very special to me, given the fact that these train sets were built just up the rail in my home county of Sacramento. And a lot of people, and if you haven't had a chance to tour that facility, I highly recommend it. It's one of the most impressive manufacturing facilities you'll see. So the president of the rolling stock for Siemens Mobility North America, Mr. Michael Cahill.
Good morning. So it's my pleasure to be here today. As Chair Hume pointed out, I also don't suffer from the wind in my hair problem, but it is a bit chilly. So thank you for having me here today at the launch of Caltrans' new Venture passenger cars. It's been this is a very special day for me. We've been working on this project for many years, and it's very special to us. But before I get to my remarks, I would also like to highlight some of the thank yous that were said before, in particular to Secretary Omashakin, who we had the pleasure of hosting recently at our plant, and as many people say when they come to visit our plant in Sacramento, the most common refrain that I hear is, "We do that here?" which was almost word for word what he said when he left as well. So we're very pleased to have him here, and thank you for the shout out. In addition to that, of course, Director Tavares, who I've just extended an invitation to, and I'm hoping to hear the same reaction when he comes as well. So who's also been working on this for a long time, and I think Secretary Omashakin said it, behind the scenes is Chad Edison, who's hiding back there under a hat. Working behind the scenes, but working very hard on this, and we appreciate his help. And of course, Carl Gradinger, who was on very many of our project meetings as we went through. Somebody who's no longer with Caltrans, but now is here with us today, Momo Tomoyoke, who now actually works here in the with the ACE facility, and very important as part of all of this. And of course, in addition to distinguished guests, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out to my own team as well, who are here today. Ray Gunnell, who runs our passenger business, and the project manager for this project, who has been here working on this since 2015, Rolf Neuhaus. It's very... It's our partnership with Caltrans for new equipment started 10 years ago, in fact, as a supplier when we were supplying, which were very new at the time as well, what we call the charger locomotives, the diesel electric charger locomotives, which will also haul these trains. We then built further on that with the partnership, with the design and manufacturing of these train sets that you see behind me as well, together with Sumitomo, and you'll hear from Sumitomo in a minute. A partnership 1 decade in the making, but I'm proud to be part of the Caltrans success with putting these cars into service and to enjoy them. As a California resident, exactly as was said, from a couple of miles up the road, these are important. These trains will go by our facility already twice a day. Unfortunately, a little too early in the morning and a little too late in the evening for many of us, but as more of them go into service, we look forward to seeing them more regularly. With a team of more than 2,500 people and counting, we're grateful for train orders like this and their ability to create jobs in the regions, allowing our team to manufacture trains for California, but also for many other regions in the state, in the country, and in fact internationally also for Canada. The job creation is more than the 2,500 people that we have working. There are more than 500 suppliers that we have that help us with these, and all of that creates more jobs as well. So the human footprint that's behind these train sets is enormous, and we're very grateful for that. Although it's great to build trains for other regions, it's really special to build trains that are here in our home state and actually run by our plant. From the start, though, these trains were designed with Californians in mind, and that means, as was highlighted before, they set a new standard for passenger rail travel with end-to-end accessibility, literally, and this is not something that is easy to do, and not something that should be taken lightly from its impact. From one end of the train all the way up to the front of the train, if you're mobility impaired, or if you have some heavy bags, or if you have strollers, to walk in acclimatized condition from end to end with 32-inch aisleways is truly best in class. Good for people who have mobility impairments, good for people that have heavy luggage, good for people with bikes, good for people in general, and even for people that don't have those challenges. It's nice to be able to walk down an aisleway and pass by at somebody else without having to say excuse me and move into somebody else's. I travel a lot in airplanes. So I'd like to congratulate Caltrans on this very momentous occasion, thank them for their business, and also thank Stacey Mortensen for hosting these trains while they were being ready here at the facility, and Brian Schmidt, who I haven't seen here, but he's we're very pleased for that, and we look forward to more to come. And with that, I'd like to hand over to Tim Sander from Sumitomo to also give a word to our partner in this. Excuse me. Thank you.
So thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here today to celebrate this milestone with all of you, alongside Secretary Omashakin, as well as Mr. Edison as well from the state of California, California State Transportation, as well as our esteemed clients, including Mr. Tavares from Caltrans, Ms. Omasagio as well, and as well as, of course, Mr. Cahill from Siemens, and also, of course, Mr. Hume from the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority. We appreciate the collaboration. And on a personal note, I just want to say that I'm thrilled to represent Sumitomo Corporation of Americas by returning here to the proud state of California, which I had the privilege to call my home from the age of 10 to 14. Yes, those were boyhood years filled with memories of riding buses in San Jose to see movies with my friends, and cable cars in San Francisco on family outings. These were the times that I gained great appreciation for public transportation and environmental protection from the leaders in my life, including my father, who took me sailing on lakes and skiing in Tahoe, and Boy Scout leaders who brought me canoeing down rivers and hiking through forests. And so it's with these memories that I proudly stand with all of you today to commemorate the realization of our shared dream, or perhaps it's the beginning of a bigger dream, and it's just one step along the way, of course. A dream that started with California's vision to provide clean public transportation, and a dream that inspired our company because this vision aligns so perfectly with our values and our business targets. As Sumitomo Corporation of Americas, we were confident that we could contribute based on our experience because we have been playing a significant role in the United States railroad industry for over 60 years. That's 60. From supplying tie plates to long rails and to the rail cars we see before us today. And throughout those 60 years, we have committed ourselves to providing sustainable, multimodal transportation that continuously strives to become more environmentally friendly, safe, efficient, and an enjoyable experience for people journeying from place to place. So it's on behalf of all our employees, especially to those who worked so hard on this project, many of whom are here today, as well as many of those who would have liked to have been with us but couldn't make it. I want to express great appreciation for the opportunity to collaborate with all of you to realize our shared dream. And I want to acknowledge and congratulate the state of California on this great step forward in Caltrans's mission and the JPA to deploy clean transportation throughout this state. Sumitomo Corporation of Americas is proud to support their mission by delivering on this project, and we will continue making our wide-ranging resources available in the future as well. Thank you very much, and I'd like to invite Ms. Magsagio as well back up to the table.
Thank you again, Tim. And thanks to all of you, all of the speakers joining us today to help celebrate this special event. So to conclude, I'd like to ask our speakers to get ready and join us in the front of the new Venture cars here for the ribbon cutting and photos. And for the members of the media here today, thank you for coming, and we will have availability for you to do one-on-one interviews with our speakers immediately following the ribbon cutting photos. And also, those that are interested in a tour of the new Venture cars and the ACE maintenance facility, a tour will begin at 11 a.m. near the main office door. Thank you again. Have a great day.